I'm going to give you 4 tips for how to beat Alisa's chainsaws, also known as destructive form or destroy form.
Tip number 1. Avoid chainsaws transitions. Alisa can go into chainsaws raw with down 1+2, but there's a long recovery animation, so you won't see this often. Here are a few common moves Alisa can use to transition into chainsaws. Most of these are unsafe on block or straight up launch punishable. You don't have to remember all of these, just remember her transitions are almost all block punishes or whip punishes. So chill on the unsafe moves against Alisa, even if they're only -10, unless you like fighting against destructive form. The only moves you have to worry about while playing safe are her power crush, down forward 1+2, beat it like other power crushes. Down forward 1-1-2, mid high high, you can either hard duck the last high or use a full crouch move to punish the down forward 1-1 to avoid this transition entirely. And full crouch down forward 1+2. This move is actually just really good, and the only way to deal with it is to just not let Alisa sit in full crouch in your face for free. Avoid down 3 by ducking or stepping at a distance. Check her after down back 3. And backdash after back 1, so you have time to react to the second hit of full crouch down forward 1+2. Tip number 2, backdash and step to the left, especially in neutral. In chainsaws, Alisa's mobility becomes high commitment and very linear, so you can backdash and sidewalk left all her attempts to approach you in neutral. If she flies up and stops to realign, she has a long stopping animation, and you can check her before she can attack you. Due to Tekken's realignment system, stepping as late as possible versus running moves like running 1 and running 1+2 is ideal versus stepping too early. Wait until you see her start moving. Even up close, you can avoid a lot of damage by moving. A few examples. After blocking destroy forward 1+2, you can step left to avoid destroy 1 and launch it. Even at -5, you can step to the right to avoid Alisa's forward 1, which is a very spammable move. This move is +2 on block, it's a high. Even if you step left, you just barely get clipped. To stop your stepping, Alisa is going to opt for the slower moves, the 16 frame homing high, 1+2, and back 2-1, which is 18 frames and tracks to both sides pretty well. But outside of running 1 in destroy form, Alisa doesn't have anything that puts her at enough frame advantage to force you to actually block the back 2-1. So you can challenge that if you predict it. Don't step all the time though. If the Alisa is being really risky, you can usually just backdash. If you get hit by the homing 1+2 or the tracking down forward 1+2, backdash to avoid further pressure and whip punish her if this puts her out of range of her next attack. Tip number 3. Check Alisa when she is at significant frame disadvantage. If Alisa ever blocks in chainsaws, this forces her out of the stance. Chainsaws has good moves in general, but 2 moves you want to shut down as hard as possible are the evasive up or down 3+4-1 and down forward 1+2, which is a power crush, the same power crush that is in her normal stance. You can bet Alisa players are going to mash these when they are at frame disadvantage to try to steal their turn back. Treat down forward 1+2 like other 6 frame power crushes. I have a video specifically on how to shut those down. Alisa needs about 6 frames to step normally or with her command sidestep. So the same moves that come out fast enough to stuff the 6 frame armor power crush will stuff her steps as well. Something to keep in mind is her back 2-1 is -3 on block and forces crouch, even though some sites still have it listed as -8. This was a change in Season 2. I haven't tested every while standing 4 in the game, but I suggest using while standing 4 after blocking back 2-1 because even though the power crush will absorb your move, you still have enough time to block and punish. You'll be safe from up or down 3+4-1 and you can punish that on block. You even avoid attempts to whiff punish you after the normal sidestep. You only lose to an immediate sidestep into forward 1
or destroy 2
without them whiff confirming, which is a huge risk that you can counter hit launch.
But yeah, -3 and you're forced in crouch, they're gonna mash something pretty hard, so don't get too antsy right there.
Tip number 4, don't hard duck often. Instead, move or low crush chainsaws lows. In Season 3, Alisa gets obscene damage from chainsaws mid-screen, and the 2 lows, down 2 is 26 frames, so most people can react. Down 1 is the main problem. It is +3 on hit and forces crouch, and it's only -12 on block. But again, stepping left or backdashing can make part of it whiff. In addition, you can call this out and go for a low crush like a hop kick or orbital, and you will put the risk reward in your favor. You'll only get partially clipped by destroy 1 and even forward 1. Also, destroy 2 and forward 1+2, you won't get launched anymore if you're off axis or if you're airborne. Those are the 4 tips. Avoid chainsaws transitions, backdash or sidewalk left often, check Alisa when she's at massive frame disadvantage to force her out of saws,
and move or low crush instead of hard ducking.
See you in the next Tekken Tips.